And welcome back to a special birthday what if for God of Death's little brother. God of Death, who's a viewer of mine, said his little brother, his birthday is today, and he wanted me to do it who would win. Or who would win. A what if, a one shot. Now, I did just finish the Raditz going to Earth with Goku one, so in theory, I could make this a long-term what if. I'm going to avoid that and kind of just do a quick, don't get me wrong, I'll go maybe like 20, 30 minutes, but I don't plan to make this on a particular series. Now, if you saw the title, you also know that it's a bit more convoluted than normal, because this is because I already did what if me, was in Dragon Ball, and I didn't do it like what if me, myself, the person got transported to Dragon Ball, more like what if I was a character in Dragon Ball. However, the way this what if was described, and I don't do I don't do what ifs within what ifs within what if. Like, I don't do what if Naruto was a Senju but got adopted by Makoto and this and that and got, married. And I'd never do pairing what ifs. Never do those because there's no point to that. Yeah, I don't do that because that's just convoluting the story more. I do the what if, like the main what if, and go see what changes come from there. I also try to keep relatively within the canon of the story, apart from whatever changes the what if has made. So, and I get some people who kind of give me a little bit of flack for that. Other people who like it overall. And I'd say the majority of people like that style, and I like that style too, preferably. Because I'm not trying to make a fan fiction. This comes off more as a fan fiction, but because it's a birthday request, I will honor it this time. Birthday requests are the only times we're going to honor the very convoluted what if ideas. So, with that being said, what if I don't get me wrong, the Thor part is not in the description, but what if somehow Thor from Marvel did something that sent me dimension hopping to Dragon Ball universe right after Gohan was killed by Goku, and I happen to be immortal. Now, they also gave me the option of being a Saiyan, but for the sake of making this different, I'm just going to actually be myself. So let's assume for a moment, because we know dimensional shenanigans though happen in both Dragon Ball Z and in Marvel. So this actually isn't as convoluted as you might think. So let's say during a fight with, because we got the King of Black storyline going on, Thor comes back, maybe through the fight, dimensional holes open up. I get sucked into one of them, and through the radiation of dimensional energy, I am now immortal. And somehow I wind up transported immediately to the Dragon Ball universe, right after Goku had killed Grandpa Gohan. So, and I decide to adopt Goku. Now, keep in mind, I am me. I now have knowledge of everything that happens in this series. Well, first and foremost, I get my bearings. I see Goku's there, and I immediately don't get me wrong. I feel like I'm someone who can handle a lot mentally, and I'm such a nerd and a fancy guy and all that stuff that if something like that legitimately happened, I feel like I could handle it a lot better than most would. But even I'd be like, "Oh, you got it." Even me would be like, "You got to be effing kidding me." It's like, "You're serious?" Like, It's like, and I realized I'm animated too. What? That'd be funny. What would I look like animated, especially with the mutton chops? I'd look glasses, mutton chops. Anyway, so I see what happened, and I'm like, "Oh, dear Lord." So I was like, well, so I choose to adopt him. Now, what do I do with Goku? Knowing everything that is going to transpire in this entire series. Well, even though I don't know what my power level, quite frankly, would be. I'm not a martial art. Let me be clear. I did take martial arts as a kid. I did 2 classes of karate. I think I made it to yellow belt, and I learned more as I got older, not through classes, but through actual practical means. But I can definitely hold my own in a fight. Like, I could never go toe to toe with a legitimate martial arts. Like, hey, would you ever want to fight Donnie Yen or like Ronda Rousey or any like those UFC or martial arts guys? Like, hell no, because I will be on the ground in a second. Like, I'm also very well aware that I am not a true martial artist, but I know how to fight and all that. And Goku only learned probably a little bit from Gohan before he accidentally killed Gohan. So I feel like my duty would be to train Goku up. Now, whatever my power level is, I imagine, like, I would do my best to be training. I'm probably no more higher than like a 50 or something at my strongest in this series. But I am immortal. So that does help me here in the sense that I can keep taking the hits, keep getting back up, and keep pushing Goku past his limits multiple times. So when we eventually get to the Bulma thing, and because of my spotty memory, I don't know when the date of that would be. I'd probably be at the house just, doing stuff. Goku's probably getting food. Goku, because I can just keep getting back up and I do get stronger, is probably stronger than me at this point. I've trained to the point where he is stronger than me, but because I'm immortal, I can keep pushing him longer and longer and tiring him out and reaching his limit. So Goku's probably already somewhere in like the 70, 75 range. So he's well beyond what his canon counterpart is. And this is just because I'm making sure that he's getting trained up. Now, I'm limited in what I can do. I'm trying to learn ki and all that stuff, but it's not easy, as we see in Super with Tien students. Like they're trying and they don't know how to do it. Like they're doing the best. I don't know if I'd ever learn how to use ki. I feel as though I'd be more the mentor and guiding force for like the story events for a certain point in time. But because I'm immortal, I could actually be a stall factor against someone like Frieza or King Piccolo or something like that. So when Bulma shows up, Goku flips the car. They have their interaction. They come back, and this is where my knowledge would probably be like I'm screwing with a lot of people. It's like, hi, it's like you came for the. And it's like, oh, you came for that, did you? It's like, I did, yeah. Well, it's like, well, maybe I could, maybe I could. And I'm in my 30s, so a 16-year-old girl hitting on me is not. It's like I would flat out say, ma'am, It's like, okay. Bulma was it? It's like, yeah. It's like, I'm in my 30s. You're what, 16? Back the F up. It's like, granted, it is Japan and those rules are very different, but it's like, yeah, no. Maybe maybe in a couple of years, but no. Now, don't get me wrong, too. I'm also making sure that Goku actually knows about the world. I would make sure of that. That he's aware that what women are, when you get to a certain age, you're probably going to start feeling an attraction towards them, all that. So Goku, I think, is a lot more versed in, the female anatomy and all that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not like showing him Playboys or anything, but, I'm just like, yeah, men, women, all this stuff, good. You're going to start feeling attraction at some point when you meet one. And trust me, you will meet one because I know these things. Now, the question actually would be, do I decide to go with Goku on the journey? I don't think so. I don't think I need to go, personally, because Goku being, and again, I can't sense power levels, don't get me wrong, but I do believe that I do believe that he is good on his own. And at the higher power level. So let's fast forward through it. The turtle, the Roshi situation, it all goes relatively smoother. He beats Yamcha pretty easy, actually, I'd imagine. The boss rabbit fight, easy. Fire mountain, that everything goes about the same until we get to the until we get to the idea of what goes on with the peel-off situation. Now, Goku, first off, it's one of those things where I feel like I would want to tell him aim for the glass, but I don't know if that glass was probably reinforced. So as far as I know, that still wouldn't have his Kamehameha still wouldn't have destroyed it. But go for the glass. If it doesn't work, then yeah, don't stare at the moon. Because I would tell Goku the truth. It's like, Goku, I want you to know something. You're probably wondering why you have a tail and I don't have a tail. Well, there's something you should know. And I take him to the ship. You came from that. You're an alien. And I would be I wouldn't just be like, matter of fact about it. It's like, wait, I'm an alien? Yep, you're not from this world, son. You're what's called a Saiyan. And I would let him know this. I feel like it's imperative that he knows the truth about Gohan. That he's the one who killed Gohan. That you turned into an ape on the side of the full moon. But luckily, as I figure out that I'm immortal, if I knew I was immortal, I would use that to actually help him. Luckily, we're gonna work on this. We're gonna train to try to control this rage. Okay. And during full moons, I would be training with him. Now, I feel like I have a high pain tolerance. That said, being crushed by an ape might be a little much, but I'm immortal, so I'll take it. Like, to help him out, I'll take it. And, I would basically just climb up and just look him. I would just basically hammer his name into his head multiple times. Goku! He's like, Goku, please. He's like, friend. And then, if he's holding, friend, that's right, you're Goku. You are Goku. And that might take a while, but I feel like he would at least get down a base control. Maybe not perfect control, but a base control. So Goku would, I think, learn this and understand it. So when the time comes to break out, it's like, all right, I'm going to do something you guys don't want to, better not, hope you guys don't freak out. And he just transforms into the ape. But because he's now got at least a base control, he can at least identify friend from foe. And because that, he kind of obliterates the Pilaf game. And, they have the Dragon Balls, and Bulma decides to wish for her perfect boy. I think she still gets the wish for the perfect boyfriend, quite frankly. Well, yeah, no, they'd still find him, and she'd still make that wish. The question would be, who's the perfect boyfriend for her? I hope it's not me. Because could that bring Vegeta there? I mean, maybe. I mean, it could be the scenario of maybe that doesn't work. Or maybe, honestly, let's be fair, the wish is already granted. It's like, what? And no one's there, but Goku's still there? Like, I don't know, maybe. But anyway, Goku comes back, tells me about the journey, training, and how he wants to go, or journey. They're going to go find the Dragon Ball. And I mentioned, like, you tell me, did you meet up with an old man named Master Roshi? Like, I did, you said maybe to come train with him at some point. And I encourage him to do that. So he goes to train with Master Roshi. Now, just to be the good father figure, I also participate in the World Martial Arts Tournament. Now, again, I feel like my skills would have been honed through this time, so I don't think I don't feel like I would be a incompetent fighter by any stretch of the means. I would be a legit. I know how to set a stance. I know how to I know how to block guard. I do know many different combat styles, and not like master them, but I do know many different techniques from many different styles kind of rolled into one. And they refined that over about 10-year time for Goku, and I feel like that could benefit itself. Or however much time. I feel like it could benefit us both. So, like I said, power level right now would be about 50 for me. And I'm already at 12 minutes. I'm going to really have to speed this up because I don't want this to be a multiple part video. Anyway, so long story short, I'm probably replacing, Ranfan, probably. I don't know. I'm going to throw one out there. And, the aerial attack, I'd be facing him. I can't remember that guy's name, but the aerial attack. Unfortunately, it's like, I'm very smart enough to know, it's like, okay, boom, just grab him by the, it's like, what? It's like, yeah, that's quick, it's impressive that it is. You're kind of open about it, and just kind of throw him out of the ring. And then I would actually be facing Goku. And this one, I'm like, okay, like, just see, like, where you, I'm going to be testing how far you've come, kid. It's like, give me your best shot. Let's see what Roshi's done. And I'm, like, very outclassed. Like, I can barely keep up with him. Just, it's like, but I am still able to get a couple of hits in. Just boom, boom. And then eventually I'm like, after getting my ass kicked, but not getting knocked out of the ring yet, Goku stands like, and I just laugh it off and like, you've come a long way, kid. This fight's yours. Boom. It's like, I'm just gonna be dragging this out for too long. Because I know I'm immortal. In theory, as long as he doesn't knock me out of the ring, I'm just gonna tire his ass out. And that's not fair. So ultimately, it will come down to Roshi versus him, where he ultimately, I think, still loses. But, yeah. And also, I think I feel like I would be the one to to actually correctly, because Yamcha kept pointing out, like, oh, the great Master Roshi, calling me that. I don't call him Roshi in front of Goku. I call him Roshi behind the scenes. Like, so, Master Roshi. It's like, yeah, it was a pretty smart thing to participate in this, Master Roshi. It's like, well, you keep calling me Master Roshi. Didn't you see him? It's like, oh, yeah, I saw him in the crowd. Unfortunately, he's a lot more tan than I remember. Also the fact you've been spraying oranges to keep Goku's nose off your tail, and the fact that you've just been super gluing this to your head the whole time. It's like, what are you talking about? It's like, and I just look at it, it's like, yeah, is like, how long are you going to keep this charade? I kind of just stare him down eventually. It's like, look, it's like, don't worry, I'm not going to tell him. I know why you did it, and I think it's for the best. He's like, oh, you're the one who raised him, is that right? Seems he found a good father figure. So we get to the Red Ribbon Army arc, and this is interesting because eventually I think Goku goes out to find a 4-star ball. He eventually finds it and eventually brings it back. It's like, oh, you found it, great. I think that does bring the Red Ribbon Army to our door. And the thing is that because I'm Immortal, I was like, no, it's okay, Goku, I got this. And I just walk up and say, look, guys, if you want to get off my property, that'd be great. I was like, oh, you want this? It's like, Goku, would you hold on to that, please? It's like, take your best shot. And then you just like, fire! Yeah, the bread! Oh, the bread! And all of a sudden it's like, what? And it's like, okay. I'll probably be like, okay, I've been stomped by a giant ape. I've fallen in a crater. I've done a lot of things. Bing shot's a new one. That hurts like hell. And I just rush him because at this point I've probably got like comparable speed to like the low level or mid-tier martial arts Dragon Ball characters. So I'm just systematically taking them out. And because I can't die, I'm just taking them all out. It's like, whoa. It's like, yeah, I didn't really want to bring that up, Goku, but I kind of can't die. It's like that's why I've been able to train you so well over these years, because I can't really die or tire out very easily. It's like, whoa, that's awesome. It's like, yeah, but don't go around asking for that. It's not all it's cracked up to be. So move on. And the whole Red Ribbon Army thing pretty much goes the same. Goku doesn't really, I don't need to help Goku at all. Now, the King Piccolo, and Goku I actually think does end up beating flat out Tien Shinhan, because I think his power's already actually near the King Piccolo markers. Because he's already just that much stronger thanks to the training stacked on. Then the King Piccolo company kills Krillin. I find out about this. Like, Goku, wait, you can't. It's like, crap. He hasn't eaten. So he still loses the first fight. I make sure he eats the second time. And this time around, like, I join him with the King Piccolo thing, because I know I'm immortal, so I can take take the damage a lot more. King Piccolo tries to take out Goku, but I, block it. Just, it's like, foolishly, what? And as my body just regenerates, like, ow. Just like, ow, 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 ow. Goku, would you mind? And then Goku comes in. And remember, Goku, like I said, is around King Piccolo level strength. So he actually is able to really put a whooping on King Piccolo because he hasn't gotten his youth back. And Goku obviously had the thing with Korin already, so he knows about Korin. And I think he actually puts the smackdown on King Piccolo. Now, by the way, the Ultra Divine Water is where Goku learned to sense power levels, but we know that like Vegeta learned that just by getting his ass kicked, so I'm guessing it's just something you can eventually learn on its own. Either way, I think he nearly kills King Piccolo, but I actually stop him. It's like, no, we can't let him. We can't afford to have him die. If he's connected to the Guardian of the Earth. And I tell him about Kami, and probably Kami at this point in Popo are like, wait, how the hell does he know about us? It's like, yeah, that's right. If you're listening, I know all about you guys. Roshi said, you know the Mafas, all right? Seal them away. It's like, Mafuba! Seals them away. So King Piccolo gets sealed away because I'm immortal and can just keep taking the damage, and Goku's that much stronger. That's how that plays out. So what happens now? I do basically tell him to go and train with Kami, though. Go find Kami. Go to Korin's Lookout, take the power pole, and go train. So it does take a bit longer to convince Kami to train. And Korin, I think actually what Korin says to Goku is like, actually, yes, they've been watching you for a while, and they don't want to just see you, Goku. They want to see you too, Brent. It's like, what? It's like, I'm like, huh? I guess after what happened with King Piccolo, it makes sense. They'd probably want to know what I'm about. Indeed, you seem to know a lot more than you imply. It's like, I might know a little bit more. I can't say I know everything. So we both go up. Luckily, being immortal, the thin air doesn't bother me. Because you have to assume that the air is pretty thin up there. Not super thin, but thinner than normal. Although normal people can survive up there just fine. So they come out and I explain pretty much, I really only talked to Kami and Popo about it because I don't want to bring it up to Goku. And basically say, is there maybe a pantry here? It's like, yeah, I'm starving. Get some food. We've got a lot to talk about. And I explained what happened, and it was like, I see. So you actually know future events coming. Yes, I do. And Goku's going to need to spend a lot of time here and really train it up. The hyperbolic time chamber. I'll go in there with him. If anything, it might help to strengthen me up as well. Indeed, despite having no ability with ki or anything, do seem to you are quite skilled. Yeah, something about what transferring him gave me immortality. He's like, excuse me. He's like, no, yeah, seriously, just try to blow my head off. No, go ahead, do it. Okay, Popo, you do it. Because fine. I just like pull something sharp. Just, ow. Like I just demonstrate. It's like, oh dear Lord, it's like, and they just see like heal up. It's like, ow, 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 ow. Oh, that's a new meaning on headache. Oh, it's like, see, it's like literally, I nothing can kill me. Unfortunately, I'm only human, so I can only do so much. But maybe you're learning some key in the maybe learning something up here could help. It's like, and through training with through proper training and all that, I think I eventually would learn to use ki and learn how to fly. So then I go with Goku in the hyperbolic time chamber. We spend the time in there together, just the 1 year, that one day, because he spent a lot of time training on there for most of the time otherwise. Now, power-wise, this probably puts Goku well now into the thousands range. Maybe even, it's a good question where he'd probably end up. Because, again, I'll be honest, I'm flying by the seat of my pants on this one. I don't have any story lined up for this. I'm just going the motions. We're going to be going pretty long into this one, but this is a one-shot, like I said. I normally only go 20 some odd to 30 minutes. Might go 40 just to do the full series. Because I am the all-seeing oracle here. But yeah, so 10 times, and those are 10 settings. Luckily with me there, Goku's able to stay sane and actually train a lot harder and more effectively. We work on, we can't really do much with his Ozaru form, unfortunately, because there's no moon in there. But when we're outside at night, that one we can do, and we explain it, and it's like we're aware of his ape form. Sure, it's safe. Goku's got enough, and I say he's got enough control to recognize enemy from foe. It's more about him being able to articulate and all that. So basically, I talk to him, and we keep training. Eventually, I think that training with his Ozaru form is the point where he's basically like Vegeta. He can now just communicate and talk in that form. In terms of where his strength is, like, where's mine? Mine is probably sitting somewhere in the relatively comfortable 250, maybe 300 range. Again, being human, well, then again, I mean, all the guys like really went over their over like Tien, Yamcha, and Krillin really got a big multiplier, and I've got lots of time. I guess we could put me at 1,000. I guess that's reasonable. Goku is probably sitting well into like the 2,000 2,500 range right now. Like he's gotten a serious boost because I'm making sure he's strong. So when we get to the tournament, I choose to sit this one out, but he's still there. I don't see. I would like for him to actually be with Bulma over Chi-Chi. But at the same time, I know you guys would never forgive me for getting rid of Gohan. Either way, I think that's to play out naturally, because he said he knew what his heart wanted, and I haven't been nurturing a Bulma relationship, sadly. So yeah. Anyway, so we didn't get the tournament. He's the winner outright. And there's no Piccolo fight. He's just the winner outright. We spend the next several years, just chilling out, living out our days there. Him and Chi-Chi both live nearby, because I don't think they lived exactly. Yeah, they did not live in Grandpa Gohan's old house. I live in the old house, but I live by myself. I'm happy by myself, quite frankly. I imagine though that Bulma might try to hit on me again. So he's like, "Well, you said when I was a bit older. I'm a bit older now." And she's like, and she's in her 20s now too. I'm like, that's true. When I am like 30 some odd, so while it's creepy, it's not illegal. I'm like, do I want to get rid of Trunks from the? Just thinking to myself, like, do I want Trunks to get rid of Trunks in this timeline? because I let's be clear, I do very well to treat my partners well. I don't want to like risk losing my partners, right? Or am I just in the mood for a quick fling? It's like, look, I appreciate it, Bulma. Just not really. There's nothing against you. You're a beautiful woman. You're intelligent and you're rich. Just not really my type. No offense. And she'd probably take offense to that. It's like, I'm just like, moving on. Because let's be honest, apart from maybe Bulma, and this is if we're in the same age range, maybe 18 could be up my alley romantically, but I like her and Krillin together, so I wouldn't want to ruin that. Videl, we'd be way too young for me at that point. So then who do we have left? In DBZ alone, Marin? Yeah, no. Launch? No. Like any of like the universe, other universe characters, maybe. But that's a very strong maybe. One of the Kais or the angels or the or like the I can't remember Hela, something, the goddess of destruction from Universe 2. Yeah, that was Universe 2 she was from, right? Like I suppose. Like yeah, there's really not much in terms of romantic interest for me in the Dragon Ball world. Anyway, so cut to the years later, and I still actually encourage Goku to keep training because we know I know something's coming. Your brother's going to be, someone will be coming in the next 5 years or so. So training, again, it's more light training like he did, but he's probably now maxing out around like 3,000. I'm probably a little stronger, like around 1,200. When Raditz shows up, we're all there. We're all on the island. When Raditz shows up, however, it's like we and him sense it's like he's here. It's like the guy you wonder. It's like, yep, Goku. Get ready for a family reunion. It's like, you mean, yep, your brother's here. And sure enough, Raditz is like, so you're the ones here. And Raditz shows up, and Carol, why have you taken this planet over yet? Yeah, because he hit his head and he his head, and he likes this planet. He doesn't want to hurt anyone on this planet. You got a problem with that? It's like, who are you? Who are you? He does it. Oh, I'm Brett. I'm the guy who raised him. And you are? You raised him, Brad. It's like, how do you know my name? Oh, I know so much about you. I know you're compensating with that long hair. I know you're the weakest of the three. I just start rattling off information that's freaking him the F out. I was like, how do you know all this? And he just grabs at me by just, and I'm like, no. I'm still struggling a little bit, but I am strong, about as strong as him, close to, plus immortality. So I was like, yeah, no. It's just knock it off. And sure enough, Goku powers up too. It's like, yeah, it's like you're not the one making orders here. And he sees that Goku's actually much stronger than him. It's like, yeah, I made sure that Goku knew he was gonna be the one here to that he's going to have to deal with you guys. Now, unfortunately, here's the problem. You wanted me to raise Goku, and I did. But the problem here is I know for a fact he has to get a lot of strength from King Kai. So, I would probably have to arrange something like that. Luckily, with my knowledge of the future, I'm like, okay, I got to talk to Kami to get in touch with King Kai and King Yama. But first and foremost, like, okay, now get off our planet now. It's like, why don't you go get your friends Vegeta and Nappa? I'm sure they'd love to have a conversation. This conversation. And because Raditz isn't dumb, he's cowardly, but he's not dumb. He's like, he actually does. He F's off and gets out. He's like, okay, so after we enjoyed this party, you and me and Kami got to go have a conversation. So I talked to Kami. I was like, yeah, so that's the deal. And the original, I've spoken to Kami. I know the future. So original time, like Piccolo's son and Goku died, or faced off against Raditz. Goku died, but he went to the other world, kept his body, and trained with King Kai. Goku's not dead, but he's going to need to train with King Kai. He's like, who's King Kai? He's like, he's this guy, and this guy. Explained that. I was like, very well, I'll make the arrangements. And so maybe it takes a day to make the arrangements. He sends Goku off. Basically, I'm now with Gohan and Chi-Chi looking after him. And I basically say, Chi-Chi. It's like, I know you don't want to hear, see, I feel like I'm the one who's actually got to put Chi-Chi in her place. That's a big thing. It's like, I know you don't want to hear this, but Gohan is part Saiyan. Like, Goku told you this tonight, so he's got Saiyan DNA in him. I know you. I know why you want. I know why you want him to be a scholar, but you have to understand he's still got the blood of his father. At the very minimum, he's got to know how to defend himself. And if worst case scenario, he's got to know how to protect other people. Or in another, because what happens if Goku? What happens if someone comes to this house and you can't protect him, but he can protect you, and you don't want him to train? And I would argue it in a way that I think would hopefully resonate with her, to at least allow her to allow me to train Gohan for a little bit. Nothing as intense as Piccolo, because I'm just not Piccolo, but enough that I can give Gohan the basics of understanding. Okay, Gohan, come at me. Don't worry, buddy. It's like, because I know Goku trained with King Kai because he's got to get there a lot faster because he can also fly now, and he's around 3,500 ish, so he's going to get there in a couple days. I know for a fact that he's going to get immensely powerful, that he should be able to handle everything. Plus he has pretty much a controlled Uzaro form at this point, but still Gohan needs to, practice. And all the other guys get up there and train too. Now you might be asking, what about the other humans? Are they getting stronger? Seeing me around, seeing Goku stronger? Yeah, probably. Not by a huge margin, but probably. I'm not going to really give power levels because it's probably not by, Tien's probably evens out to a 2,000, Krillin to about 1,800 with his energy blast, 1,300 base wise. Yamcha's probably 1,600, Chess is 8, something like that. But anyway, I know at this point now my power is just not going to be able to cut it against pretty much anyone. Doesn't mean I'm going to stop training it or improving, just means I can't really cut it. But I'm, training Gohan, training at first. And he's like, okay, we're going to intense it up a little bit, Gohan. You're right? Ready. He's like, and I'm making sure to get Gohan up to snuff. So he's probably evens out to about 1,000, but it is, again, more about, survival, what Piccolo did, than actual training for him. And I'm probably a little stronger, too. I'm maybe 1,400, maybe. Anyway, we finally cut to the day that the Saiyans are supposed to arrive, or the day Saiyans are supposed to arrive. Goku already comes back because we make mentions make sure to tell him to send you back the day prior. So Goku comes back having learned the Kaioken and possibly even learning the instant transmission. Though I doubt the instant transmission. There's just no, because it's not canon that King Kai knew it. That was an anime only thing. So Goku, because Goku's power had really he went from base wise he was around 400. Some odd, but you also got to take in maybe a Zenkai even in his dead form. So you got to factor in maybe around 5. He took a nearly 40 times increase, basically. Not 40 times increase. What the hell am I talking about? Because 10 would be 5,000. So he took nearly a 20 times increase. I know that. So Goku was spending more time training there. Probably wouldn't be 20 because he's already a lot more powerful, but maybe a 10 times increase. So his base is now hit 35. Plus he's got Kaioken. And at 35, he can probably hit a Kaioken times, probably not times 10, but a times 5 without any issue. Really without any issue. Because if he could hit a times 2 without any issue at 8, he could probably double that power alone. He could probably hit a times 3 without too much issue. And then you go all the way into the 30s. He could probably hit a times 4 without issue, maybe even times 5. So times 5 is reasonable. So we all meet. I leave Gohan at the house, but we all meet. Ready for the Saiyans. The Saiyans show up. And, the fight goes down. We take care of this. We take care of the Cybermen and make sure Yamcha doesn't die. And then Nappa comes out. Nappa's basically, ready to go, but Goku basically just takes them both on without any issue. I think Vegeta still takes out Nappa, sadly. He beats the living hell out of Vegeta. Vegeta decides to go Zaro, but then Goku does as well. Except that Goku, just like Goku, just like Vegeta, he's in control of his Ozaru and just smacks him around and rips his tail right off. Which then, and I basically said, let him go. So now that we've now, and don't forget Rad's just hanging around. Like, what happens? Yeah, we killed you guys. We killed everyone. You want to do something about that? Now, keep in mind, nothing about Dragon Balls has been brought up in this version to the Saiyans, and therefore Frieza and Frieza forces aren't necessarily looking for them immediately. But they probably will eventually learn about them on Namek and then get pissed off that they can't use the damn things. So we're basically just like, I'm going to give you a choice, Reds. You can maybe, try to find new life here, or you just go out and do your own thing. I don't care what you do. Just don't cause crap, because you can't take any of us on right now. And Raz is just looking at us like, you did. Now, Raz isn't stupid, though. I think he takes in this case, the more cowardly way and hightails it out of there. Now, that being said, we're going to have to prepare because Frieza will eventually show up. At some point, he's going to be coming to this planet. So we have got to be ready for that. So we are training. I actually suggest, because I did this in the previous What If, a Takami, that we actually keep the gather Dragon Balls, we actually keep them at the lookout for if we need them. And I think Kami would be like, because trust me, this Frieza guy is no joke. As strong as Goku is right now, that's nothing compared to what Frieza's going to do. So we spend and now there's a problem. Now I'm like, we're now in a gray area. I don't know if and when. It's probably going to be a when, but I don't know if and when he's going to show up. So we're going to need to train as hard as we can nearly every day. So I'm guessing it would be within a year. Within a year's time, they're going to show up. I asked King Kai and Kami to keep a lookout. In that time, Goku's probably grown he's probably doubled his power to 70. I've probably even doubled my power, maybe even gone to 3,000. Woo. But then we have the word that, that they're coming. They're going to be here maybe about 48 hours or something like that. So I basically say, it's like, we only got one more shot at this, and I can already tell you, and I can sense Goku's power. Maybe not the number, but the general area. Even with a Kaioken times 10, he could maybe take on base Frieza. He can't take on any of his other forms. We got one more trip in that time chamber. We got to take it. So I suggest this time around that it's not Goku and me so much. It's Goku and Gohan. And I also say, because of Super, try focusing your ki and anger on your lower back. I say, I'm no joke, because when they said that in Super, I'm like, really? You downgraded Super Saiyan to tingly back? But okay. So sure enough, in the hyperbolic times, you're focusing on that. Both Gohan and Goku hit Super Saiyan. So fucking sad. In terms of base power, though, should note that Goku is now probably, along with Gohan, probably like hitting at least 1 million minimum. No, not Gohan hitting the minimum 1 million. Gohan, I think, might be like 500,000 though, and him and Gohan both hit Super Saiyan. And once they hit Super Saiyan, they're training a lot more, which means that quickly increases the power level output or power level increase. So now Goku and Gohan are probably both respectively well beyond Goku's Namek Saga power levels. So when they get there, and I can sense the power, I'm like, did you do it? It's like, then he transforms. Like, yeah, we did it. It's like, how'd you know? I know a little thing about Saiyan biology. And then when Frieza gets there, because we're already nearing 40 minutes, I want to speed this up. They'll take down Frieza with relative ease, the Ginyu Force. I'll provide a stopgap for a couple of them. But there's little I can do. I'm pretty much now the omnipotent one doing his thing. Trunks shows up, because Vegeta, I think, shows back up on this on Earth after a while. He's still butthurt and all that, bitter and bold. He's very prideful, wants the Dragon Balls because he heard about them from Frieza and Namek got blown up because Frieza was, upset. And we basically use the Earth Dragon Balls to bring back Namek, basically, is what happens. And Vegeta learns about the Dragon Balls and he wants to use Dragon Balls, but obviously, no, we're not going to let that happen. Eventually Trunks shows up, explains the whole King Cold thing, or Frieza thing, and training for the androids happens. King Cold shows up, I think, in the middle of that. We take care of that. However, unlike before, I make sure Goku takes his goddamn medicine. No, people keep thinking, I keep getting a lot of people think he got the heart virus from Yardrat. There's no evidence to say he did. Apart from the fact that he's the only one who got it initially, we know for a fact that it was a heart virus that quickly spread. Was he case 0? Could be, but we don't know that for certain. There's just nothing that said that he got it from Yardrat. There's nothing that was said that. Plus, they go to Yardrat later in the comics, and that's never mentioned. Anyway, so I make sure that he's taking his medicine near the point in time where the androids are showing up. And so he's actually fine in this version. So I also make sure it's like, be careful. I'm told, from little I know, these androids know how to absorb energy through their hands. From little I remember Juro's schematics from the Red Ribbon Army. So avoid ki blast, just stick with melee and don't let them grab you. And sure enough, when 19 and Goku face off, they take care of it. He goes through them. He goes through them like butter, because at this point, 3 years later too, I'd imagine he's got a perfected Super Saiyan. So he's probably near Cell Game levels at this point. Gohan as well. I actually think Gohan would be as well. And Jiro gets taken out. And so 18 and 19 are just sitting there. And I'm like, okay, now we got to go find that damn laboratory. And I think we actually go straight out looking for it. And we find it. And we have 18 and 17 there. And 16. I'm like, okay, let's take them to Capsule Corp and see if we can do something with that. And we take them to Capsule Corp. Meanwhile, I'm like, okay, we also got to look out for one of his other creations. It's like stuff. And finally, I think people are asking me, how the hell do I know all this? And finally, I'm like, we're about far enough in the series I can say this. I know everything that's going to pretty much happen until we alter it. Why? It's like, because I'm from a universe where I'm from a universe where you guys don't exist. You guys exist as a manga, as an anime. So I've watched this entire series. I explained this to him eventually, like, what? Yeah, but here you're real. Don't get me wrong. You're real in this universe, okay? No, I'm not taking any of this away from you. Just in my universe, you weren't. So I've watched your entire series. So I know everything that's happened. I haven't changed everything, but you guys are a lot stronger for it and all that. Like, you've been playing with our lives. I'm sure some of them would get on my case for it and say, really? So there's this guy named Seth. Yeah, and he's trying to absorb these two who want to kill you, but ultimately aren't that bad. So maybe we can convince him outright. Maybe just give him a good spar or something after we kill Cell. Him, on the other hand, in which I point for him, say, yeah, he's straight out a robot, and he does want to kill you. So we do need to get that programming out of him if we can. But otherwise, he's a nice guy. He likes birds. So ultimately, we track down Cell and wipe his ass out. We activate 18, 19, 18, 17, and 16. Both look on, see Goku's like, wow, this is pretty. It's like, wow, this is pretty convenient. Yeah, let's not do this, shall we? Like, do you really want to kill Goku? Do you want to kill Goku because you want to, or do you want to kill him because you're told to? It's like, well, what does it matter? What does it matter exactly? It just gives us something new. Well, you could just, find something else to do. It's like, what? It's like, look, there's a whole world out there. Explains, like, but I'm still itching. I'm itching to kill someone. Fine, you can kill me. What? It's like, good. Shove your arm through my stomach. Take off my head. Blast me into oblivion. Go ahead. Get out of your system. Are you serious? You're nothing. I can tell you're nothing. It's like, yeah, I'm nothing. Waiting on you, Chief. It's like, and he just blasts. My head's smoldering, but just get that out of your system. It's like, yeah, I'm immortal. But I think they do have a fight with Goku. Goku ultimately wins that fight. So now you get the 7 years of peace in the Android saga. We do make sure to destroy the current timeline Cell as well. Or between that and Buu Saga. Goku, I think, hits Super Saiyan 2. And I encourage him to keep training. I think he does hit Super Saiyan 3, though that takes a lot of effort. Ultimately, I'm actually out searching for Babi's ship at that point. I'm like, okay, I found it. And basically say, okay, I gotta get these guys here right now. So basically, I just knock on the door. It's like, knock. It's like, and like maybe Deborah comes out, and I just sneak past him. It's like, because my power level is so low, it's like to not really even be noticeable. Pui and Yakon are in there also. It's like, what's going on here? And it's like, is someone in here? Because my power level is actually so low, it actually would be an advantage. Because I don't think and I'm suppressing it to the point of just not being existent, or like just one. So it's like they just don't register me at all. Until it's like, hi, you're Bobbity, right? What? How who are you? But no. It's like, yeah, no. I actually just assassinate his ass straight out, I think. I think I would just go out of my way to do that. It's like, yeah, we're not having another pudding incident. Meanwhile, Yaka and Pui Pui and Deborah's like, oh, you killed him. Master Bobby is dead. So what now? I was like, well, you could spit on me and turn me into a statue, but I've already given my position to Supreme Kai, and he and the other guys are going to be here in a little bit. So your ass is grass, and I'm just going to be a lawn ornament for a while. Or you can just F off right now. It's like you and I, but I am able to at least dodge a spit. I'm like, blast. The blasts aren't going to hurt any of them, but I'm like, just, I'm using it as a distraction as I'm getting my ass out of there. Just, okay, come on, guys. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? He's like, leaving so soon. Crap! And slices my arm off. Nah. I actually just grab my arm, just hit him in the face, and it's like, you mother effer! Do you know how much it hurts to regrow an arm? You're lucky I was able to reattach this thing. Sorry, hell. Finally, the other guys show up and beat their asses. So we move on to tournament to Beerus waking up. So it's like, Goku, do me a favor, don't mess with Beerus, if you can. Now the thing about Beerus is, like, he's the one person I know actually could kill me, like, legitimately, like, could Kai my ass. So I do have to be somewhat careful around him. And it's like, yeah, I'm immortal, though I'm fully aware you could kill me. So I don't, but at the same time, I would ask, respect, you demand a lot of respect, but please, I just ask to show a little bit to your, hosts as well. Respect is earned, not given, Lord Beerus. It's, is that at least fair to ask? And I think Beerus actually would be surprised that I speak to him that way, but I'm also speaking to him in a polite and respectful tone, to which he does take into consideration, like, your words do ring a bit true. Respect is earned, not given. Very well. Respect, and after all, your food is delicious. Respect the host, after all. And then after a whole Super Saiyan God thing, we explain, it's like, okay, this, Goku has his fight with Beerus. Universe 6 tournament, I don't do any participation in. Goku Black Arc, I do not do any. Well, that could be an interesting scenario, because I am also immortal in this. So, but the thing is, like, I actually say, yeah, it's like, you're not from this universe, and you know what's going to happen. Yeah, it's like, so what's the I explained the Zamasu situation. So they had Kai Zamasu in the past, and basically just call him in the present and just deal with him as it is. And ultimately, that still would go roughly the same. And then Tournament of Power. With this one, I don't think I say anything about it, because I'm like, as much as I'm immortal, there's no way I could, even the lowest level power levels, guys, I'm not sure I can go toe-to-toe with in this fight. So, unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to bow this one out. But don't worry. Well, I have complete faith in you. It's like, well, do we win or not? I can't tell you that. It's like, well, but we're going to win, right? If I tell you exactly what's going to happen, it might not happen. That's one of those things where it's like, you're from the future. Or it's one of those things where it's where I could also be, because I said this too, it's like, well, normally yes, but we've had a gray area. Enough has I would blatantly lie to their faces on this. Enough has changed that I can't predict what's going to happen now, because things haven't happened the way they did before. It's like, oh no, but I'm like, yeah. To which I give Whis and Beerus a nodding, just, or I give at least Whis a nodding, like, who gives me, he's like, is that so? I was like, it's like, I can't tell them everything, otherwise it won't happen the way it's supposed to. It's like, yeah, it's like, it seems you have some wisdom to you indeed. So that, and then Broly, I have nothing to do with Broly, and I'm not going to go into like the moral or anything like that. So at near 50 minutes, there is your birthday. What if God of Death's little brother? If I was in Dragon Ball, raised Goku, and it was Immortal. God, that ate up so much time. I'm going to have to put my computer back on the charger, because I still have the Death Battle Losers Tournament to do. I'm actually finishing out the Death Battle Loser Tournament today, by the way. And I think I'm going to do a couple side. Actually, one video I'm going to do next Sunday is something I haven't done in a while. Box office. People have been asking. I've had one or two people ask about if I'm going to do box office again. With the quarantine, with the pandemic and everything like that. I keep saying quarantine, but with the pandemic and everything, it's made the movie theater, doing the box stuff a little iffy to do because there just wasn't anything coming out really. Now we've had movies coming out. Now we got Godzilla vs. Kong coming out. I think that's going to be the thing to kick off my box office videos again. So, yeah, box office will be next week. But that is the end of this What If for your birthday. God, that's the little brother. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you stayed through the entire thing. I did not expect to go near 50 minutes, but here we are. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And thanks for sticking around all the way here. Later, folks.